शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मच्छ्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं दूतीक्रमं मण्डलम् वीराञ्जष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम्। श्रीविमर्शानन्दनाथं सत्याम्बासहितं गुरुं हृत्पद्मकर्णिका मध्ये भावयेत् सर्वसिद्धये। श्रीभासुरानन्दनाथाय नमः। श्रीभास्करराय गुरुमण्डलाय नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्।
नमस्ते। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री मात्रे नमः। श्री महागणपतये नमः। Today we will start with the first verse of Soundaryalahari. So first we will learn the pronunciation part. Shri Raghuji will recite it once. We will all recite it twice. You can all join along with me and recite it twice, following which we will have Srimati Priya Parmesh render the same verse in the musical format. So we will now learn the pronunciation part of the first verse of Soundaryalahari.
śivaḥ yuktō
śivaḥ yuktō
yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ
yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ
śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ
śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ
न chēdēvaṃ dēvō
न chēdēvaṃ dēvō
न khalu kuśalaḥ
न khalu kuśalaḥ न khalu kuśalaḥ
न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ
न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ
śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ
śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ śivaḥ yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ न chēdēvaṃ dēvō न khalu kuśalaḥ
atastvāmārādhyāṃ
atastvāmārādhyāṃ
hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा
प्रणन्तुं वा
कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति
कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति
प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति
प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति
अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति
अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति. We will all repeat the entire verse, the first verse, together twice. शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति. So we just learned the pronunciation part. Now we will learn the musical way of rendering the same shloka. So we will be learning this in Gambhira Natai Ragam. Srimati Priya Pramesh, a musician and an ardent devotee of Devi and a dedicated disciple of Bhaskar Prakasha Ashram, has put together the musical rendition of Soundaryalahari. She will help us to learn it in the musical way. Shri Paramesh, Srimati Mahinta Karthik and Shri Karthik Lakshmi Narayanan will be assisting Priya Paramesh in our journey to bliss. So let's hear out Priya and her team.
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम्
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम्
न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि
न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुम् न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi
praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati
praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati
atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati
śivaḥ śaktyā yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ na chēdēvaṃ dēvō na khalu kuśalaḥ spanditumapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati śivaḥ śaktyā yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ na chēdēvaṃ dēvō na khalu kuśalaḥ spanditumapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati
śivaḥ śaktyā yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ na chēdēvaṃ dēvō na khalu kuśalaḥ spanditumapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati śivaḥ śaktyā yuktō yadi bhavati śaktaḥ prabhavituṃ na chēdēvaṃ dēvō na khalu kuśalaḥ spanditumapi atastvāmārādhyāṃ hariharaviriñchādibhirapi praṇantuṃ stōtuṃ va kathamakṛtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati.
Now we will look into the meanings of the first verse. The first verse is a meditation on the Shiva Shakti Swarupa. Let us see the simple meaning. Shiva śaktyā yuktō. Shiva, being united with Shakti, is able to bring this world into manifestation. Without Shakti's help, he is not able to make even a small movement. Because of praying to her, hariharaviriñchādibhirapi. Hari means Vishnu, Hara is Shiva, Viriñchādibhi. Virinchi is Brahma. Brahma is able to create this universe Vishnu is able to sustain and protect this universe, and Shiva is able to dissolve this universe during Pralayakala because of only praying to her. Viriñchissañchinvan. Adibhirapi means starting from Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, all other devas are able to do their respective jobs. Bhagavad Pada says, how can one even pray or think about you if they have not earned punya or merits in their previous lives? Kathamakrtapuṇyaḥ prabhavati. Akrita punya. If they have not earned any punya or merits in their previous lives, is it even possible to even pray or think about you? Bhagavad Pada asks.
The first verse of Soundaryalahari is a very important verse. It gives us a preview of the entire Soundaryalahari. Shankaracharya begins Soundaryalahari with the word Shiva. Shiva signifies auspiciousness. Starting word of any stotra is important and it should provide clue for the entire text. Shiva denotes the supreme power called Parabrahman. In this verse, Shiva is denoted as the attributeless Nishkala Brahman described in the Shruti or Vedas. The Mandukya Upanishad says, Nantaf pragyam na bhagif pragyam no bhayataf pragyam na pragyanaganam na pragyam na pragyam adrishyam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyayasaram prapanchopasamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vijñeyah. Here, the Nishkala Brahman is described as not that is conscious of the internal subjective world, not that is conscious of the external world, not that is conscious of both, not that is mass of consciousness, not that which is simple consciousness, not that which is not consciousness. Brahman is thus not describable, is indescribable. Thus, the active principle Shiva is not involved in this world and remains a sakshi or witness. However, Shakti is both witness and actively involved in the creation. Thus, the words Shiva Shakti denote the concept of Sri Vidya, where Shiva is identified as consciousness with potential energy, which is dormant, and Shakti is identified as the consciousness with dynamic energy, which is active. In this interaction of Shiva and Shakti, both become merged and become equal. Just as fire cannot be separated from heat, coldness cannot be separated from ice, Shiva and Shakti are inseparable. Also, Shiva and Shakti are equal, and neither Shiva has lordship over Shakti, nor Shakti has lordship over Shiva. Shiva is fully dissolved in Shakti, and Shakti is dissolved in Shiva. As Vedas, the Tripura Upanishad says, Samapradhanau samasatvau samotoyoho samashaktirajara vishvayonihi. The sameness or samabhava is the concept of Samayamatha of Adi Shankaracharya. Shakti is inherent in Shiva just as butter is inherent in milk. Only when milk is converted to curd and churned, the butter is revealed.
Shiva is Prakasha and Shakti is Vimarsha. Just like electricity in a wire is revealed when a light bulb is connected to it, the Prakasha of Shiva is revealed by his Vimarsha Shakti. Shiva and Shakti are always united and appear as one at the cosmic level, but appear as two distinct entities for the purpose of manifestation of this material world. The most important concept of the first shloka of Soundaryalahari is that Shiva, devoid of Shakti, cannot perform even a small movement, cannot do even a small vibration or spandana. Whereas Shakti is able to vibrate as well as remain still, unlike Shiva, who is not able to vibrate on his own. Shakti has the power to will, power to know, and power to act. She is Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti Swarupini.
The Vedas say the world was created by God because God willed to create this material world. Sa ikshata. As the creator, Shakti as the mother principle nourishes her creation by bestowing both bhoga and moksha to her children. This is the most important reason for worshipping as the female principle of Shakti in this Sri Vidya Upasana. As a mantra shastra, the first verse contains many important mantras encapsulated in it. For example, Shiva is Ha Bija and Sauhu is Shakti Bija. So Shiva Shakti means Ha Sauhu, which is the Prasada Paramantra. Also, the vowels in the word Shiva are E and A, and in Shakti the vowels are A and E.
So the vowels in the word Shiva, she has the vowel E in it, and Va has the vowel A in it. In Shakti, the word Shakti, the vowels are Swat. Sha has the A vowel in it, and Ti has the E in it. So E and A are the vowels for Shiva, and A and E are the vowels for Shakti.
And this A and E are very important letters because the Rig Veda starts with A. Agnimi Ile, that is the first word in Rig Veda, A. Same thing, Sama Veda also starts with Agna Aya Kivitaye. And Yajurveda starts with the letter E. Ishe, Tvorje, Tva, that's how it goes. So it is very important that these first two words also give the entire Vedic concept. So it means that the Vedas, the essence is all given in this Soundaryalahari. This means that this verse gives the power of all the Vedas. Scholars say the most important Shiva mantra or the Panchakshara mantra and the Panchadashi mantra for Shakti are hidden in the first verse.
So with this, we have just learned the first verse of Soundaryalahari to recite, to chant, to render it in a musical way, and also we have tried to understand a little bit of a meaning behind it. So let's move on to the second verse. We will now practice and learn to chant it properly, and then followed by the musical rendition.
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ
tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
viriñchissañchinvan
virachayati
virachayati lōkānavikalam
virachayati lōkānavikalam virachayati lōkānavikalam
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam.
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam. tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam.
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi
sahasrena shirasāṃ
sahasrena shirasāṃ
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasāṃ
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasāṃ vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasāṃ
harasamkṣudyainam
harasamkṣudyainam
bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim
bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim
harasamkṣudyainam bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim
harasamkṣudyainam bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim harasamkṣudyainam bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim. We will recite the entire verse, the second verse twice in full. tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasāṃ harasamkṣudyainam bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim. tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasāṃ harasamkṣudyainam bhajati bhasito dhūlana vidhim.
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasrena shirasaṃ vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ
हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम् हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम्
हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम् हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम्
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम् vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ हरसंक्षुद्ध्यैनं भजति भसितोद्धूलनविधिम्
vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim
tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ viriñchissañchinvan virachayati lōkānavikalam vahatyēnaṃ śauriḥ kathamapi sahasreణ shirasaṃ harasamkshuddyainam bhajati bhasitodhūlanavidhim.
Let us now look into the meanings of the second verse. The second verse talks about the meditation on Devi's feet. Let us see the brief meaning of this verse. Using the smallest dust particles from your feet, tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ. Using the smallest dust particles from your feet, tanīyāṃsaṃ pāṃsuṃ tava charaṇapaṅkēruhabhavaṃ. The trinities Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are able to do their jobs. Brahma creates this material world using one small particle. Vishnu, with great difficulty, holds this entire creation on his 1,000 heads, and Shiva destroys the creation into ashes and smears his body with these ashes.
In the first shloka, the principle of Srividya was described. In the second, the first part of the Srividya Upasana is explained. The first prayer in the worship is to the Guru, whose feet or paduka is worshipped. The feet of the Guru are supposed to be more powerful than the Guru. And also, they are compared with the feet of the Devi. Similarly, in Devi's worship, Devi's feet are worshipped rather than the Devi's entire body. We recite Shri Padukam Pujayami Namaha during the Sri Chakra Devata's Navavarana Puja. You would have noticed that. The power of Devi's lotus feet is mentioned here. Her lotus feet contains all the power, and just one particle of dust from her lotus feet gives the power to Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra to do all that they have been doing, the creation, the preservation, and also the destruction. If just one dust particle can create Bhur, Bhuvar, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satya Loka, all the 7 loka above, and also the 7 lokas which are below, which are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, and Patala. Imagine how much blessings we can beget by clinging on to our lotus feet.
So we just saw a little bit of a meaning of the second verse, and with this we finish today's session. We just learned how to recite, how to pronounce the first and second verse properly, and also learned the recitation in the musical way set to Gambhira Natai Ragam. And also we saw the meanings of the 2 verses. So we will continue with our session tomorrow, same time. And as mentioned earlier, this week, the first 10 verses will be covered, and they will all be rendered in Gambhira Natai Ragam, which is the first ragam that we use for Lalita Sahasranama recitation. So let us join tomorrow again at the same time and move on to the 3rd and the 4th verse of Soundaryalahari. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.